Thursday of the 15th week in Ordinary Time.
A reading from the book of Exodus. Moses, hearing the voice of the Lord from the burning bush, said to him, "When I go to the children of Israel and say to them, 'The God of your fathers has sent me to you,' if they ask me, 'What is his name?' what am I to tell them?" God replied, "I am who am." Then he added, "This is what you shall tell the children of Israel, 'I am sent me to you.'" God spoke further to Moses, "Thus shall you say to the children of Israel, 'The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever. This is my title for all generations. Go and assemble the elders of Israel and tell them, 'The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, has appeared to me and said, I am concerned about you and about the way you are being treated in Egypt. So I have decided to lead you up out of the misery of Egypt, into the land of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, a land flowing with milk and honey. Thus they will heed your message. Then you and the elders of Israel shall go to the king of Egypt and say to him, 'The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has sent us word. Permit us then to go a 3 days' journey in the desert, that we may offer sacrifice to the Lord our God. Yet I know that the king of Egypt will not allow you to go unless he is forced. I will stretch out my hand, therefore, and smite Egypt by doing all kinds of wondrous deeds there. After that, he will send you away.'" The word of the Lord.
The responsorial psalm. The response is, "The Lord remembers his covenant forever." Give thanks to the Lord, invoke his name, make known among the nations his deeds. Recall the wondrous deeds that he has wrought, his portents and the judgments he has uttered. The Lord remembers his covenant forever. He remembers forever his covenant, which he made binding for 1,000 generations, which he entered into with Abraham, and by his oath to Isaac. The Lord remembers his covenant forever. He greatly increased his people and made them stronger than their foes, whose hearts he changed, so that they hated his people and dealt deceitfully with his servants. The Lord remembers his covenant forever. He sent Moses his servant, Aaron whom he had chosen. They wrought his signs among them, and wonders in the land of Ham. The Lord remembers his covenant forever.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart. And you will find rest for yourselves. For my yoke is easy and my burden light." The Gospel of the Lord.
Thursday of the 15th week in Ordinary Time. The first reading is from Exodus 3:13-20. Moses is being called to go to the Pharaoh and tell him that the people of God should be let free. He's also to go to the children of Israel and inform them that God, the God of their ancestors, has appeared to them. But what name does God have? Remember, God is a title, not a name. God reveals his name as Yahweh, which means I am who am. Well, the rabbis asked, what does that mean? And they gave 2 answers. Typically, the rabbis never give just one answer, they give at least two. It either means I am who I am, and it's none of your business who I am, that God is the God of mystery and we shouldn't even ask. Or it means I am who I am for you, who I've always been for you, who I will always be for you. That when God reveals who He is, it's in terms of service to us. To serve is to be God-like, because God is the one who reveals His nature through His service. And the service that He's going to offer to the children of Israel is to release them from their slavery in Egypt and lead them to the land flowing with milk and honey. Now that's a little bit of an exaggeration because Israel is pretty much a desert. It doesn't look like there's a lot of milk and honey running around there. But it is the promised land, and God is going to dispossess the pagans who are living there. That doesn't seem just, but eventually the Jewish theologians will explain it, that God allowed the sinfulness of this people to reach the point where this was the only punishment that He could give that people. And that's one of the signs of God's love for Israel. Instead of waiting for their guilt to build up to the point where He has to explode against them, God punishes them little by little so that they don't receive the full weight of their guilt. Moses is told to tell Pharaoh that he's going to lead his people out to the desert to sacrifice. That's a bit of an exaggeration because even though they do sacrifice in the desert, that's not exactly why He's leading the people out there. God also tells Moses that He realizes that Pharaoh will resist this attempt for the people to leave, and therefore God will have to perform mighty signs to force Pharaoh to give in. It's almost as if God wants this to be able to prove His power to the people of Israel and to the people of Egypt, that He wants to be resisted so that His almighty nature can be made manifest. The Gospel is from Matthew 11:28 to 30. In spite of the fact that God has revealed Himself as Almighty, He's also the one who's gentle. He offers Himself as a resting place for us, that when we turn to Him, we will find peace. And in fact, He says, "Take my yoke upon you." Remember, this was probably a 2-oxen yoke. So Jesus is the other one who's carrying the burden. If we try to carry the burden ourselves, if we try to make this journey of faith ourselves, then the furrow that we plow will be crooked. It'll be off kilter. If we work at this together with Jesus, then we'll plow a straight furrow. Things will work out. And we also have to remember that the yoke that He's giving us is custom fit. The carpenters who would make the yokes would carve them in a way that they would fit the oxen who were carrying the yoke. So the burden that's given to us is not a generic burden, something that everybody has to carry, but something that's individually shaped, something that's meant particularly for us. It's something that God has laid upon our shoulder, realizing that this is the way that we will most grow in love. And may God bless us.